Hello. Have you guys ever had one of those weeks where it seems like everything is going wrong? Well, I thought I was going to have to go to the dentist and get a couple teeth pulled, which I was not very happy about at all. I hate when you have to get teeth pulled or losing some teeth. Well, then I found out, which was good news a while back, that yes, there was some decay, but it was contained. And I could, as long as it stays contained, I'm okay. But as you get older, you have partials and all this other stuff. So I had a partial that I wanted to get relined. I just thought it was a simple thing. And it was a really nice dental office with these young dentists, beautiful girls, really. And so she's behind me. I'm in the chair and she's behind me and she's putting this relining stuff in the partial. And then she says, now, when you put this in your mouth, it's going to get really hot. She says, so don't let it panic you. And I go, okay, I won't scream. I'm just kidding around. So I have to keep it in there for 3 minutes. So put the partial in my mouth. And I was waiting for it to get hot or something. And really, I didn't feel anything. It was fine. So sitting there for 3 minutes. She came around and she was trying to get the partial out. She can't get it out. And she tried and she tried. And she tried some instruments. She couldn't get it out. I says, wait, let me try to get it out. So I tried and I tried. I couldn't get it out. Then she tried some other instruments. Well, it was starting to make my gums sore. So this kept going back and forth. I'd try, she'd try, I'd try, she'd try. Finally I go, that's all right, just leave it in and I can get it out later. But I had to get my teeth cleaned too after this. And she goes, oh, no, you can't. So then she went and got this head, I guess she was the head dentist there, young. She came in and she was so professional. And just one of the, I don't know, just nothing panicked her, just very sweet, beautiful. She was trying all kind of instruments. She couldn't get out. Then I tried again. I couldn't get it out. It kept going back and forth, back and forth. We were at the point we didn't know what to do. And then finally she went and got some other instrument and kept working. And they didn't really hurt me while they were doing this. I'm surprised. But other than for 3 days, my gums were sore. But she finally loosened it, and then I was able to get it out. So it was, and when I came out, Mr. Bill was waiting for me. He goes, wow, you were really in there a long time. And then right after that, I had to go in. They really gave me a thorough cleaning. Wow, they give you a thorough cleaning there. Then she told me, I would like you to use those twirly toothbrushes, you don't they go round and round. And I was thinking, yeah, I have one of those. I don't know why I quit using it, but I have one of those. And then she says, and I'd like you to use a water pick too. Oh, you'll love it, the water pick. I'm like, okay, well, I'll just get an inexpensive water pick on Amazon. And, it had good feedback and stuff. So I got the water pick. And it made a little hole in my tongue. It was spitting in the sink and there was this blood and I'm like, I knew it hurt my tongue. I think I knew where the blood was coming from. And I looked in the mirror. Sure enough, not a deep hole, but there was a hole. It was bleeding. So that's one thing that went wrong. this is the next thing. I had been smelling propane. And Mr. Bill it seems like he's lost some of his sense of smell. It seems like a lot of men lose their sense of smell. But anyways, it's not bothering him, and he doesn't seem to be smelling it. But it was getting stronger and stronger. And especially when I went into the garage, I could really smell it. And then it was getting so bad, when I would open that garage door, I could, this is coming into the house. And so I kept saying something to him about it. But you know how men are sometimes. I don't know. But finally, I said, I think that smell is coming from the water heater in the garage. So we decided to call the propane company that we purchased our propane from. I wasn't sure who to call about it. So he came out. We had to go. I think he had to go to the doctor. So this man told us when he'd be there, but he got there early. So I just gave him the code to the garage, because you can do that in Tennessee. It's safe here. And he went into the garage, and he said, I'm on the phone with him still, and he goes, whoa, yes, this is really strong in here. So he tried to fix it. To figure out where it was coming from. It was something underneath the water heater. And I said, can you look on there and see how old that water heater is? Because it was there when we moved in. And it ended up, the water heater is about 9 years old. So average lifespan, they say 7 to 10 years for a water heater. So, we bought the home, it's 20-some years old. And when that happens, you're always replacing something. Because we did replace the air conditioner, we replaced the heater, the furnace. So, but anyways, he said, I've got to turn this off. So that meant whatever water was in there, we better use it if you're going to take a shower or something. And I wanted to wash my hair and take a shower. So I did that right away, since we had no heat now. And he told us when he could come out, be a couple days or whatever. I think even if he was going to try for the following day, he could come in and put a new water heater in. Well, that was over $2,000 with the water heater plus the installation. Okay. So that's one thing that went wrong. And then there's a connection to this. All right, so while he was there, and we gave him half on the water heater and was talking with him, I said, I smell propane whenever I turn the fireplace on, because it's run by propane too. And he said, well, how bad is it? I go, well, it's bad enough that I sometimes don't want to turn it on. He goes, oh, well, let me take a look at it. So he went in and took a look at the fireplace, and he says, well, it's not lit. And I thought, what? I go, well, it's been starting for me, because it has the remote control. And so he tried to light it. And then Mr. Bill started thinking, what if we're out of propane? So he went outside and checked the tank, and we were totally out. So what had happened is the propane must have been leaking from the water heater. And we lost our propane. But it was cold. This was when it was cold, before we got the warm spell. So he says, I'm going to turn this fireplace off, because, the gas off of it, because this is not good, So then we tried to order propane. They said they couldn't be out for maybe a week. Like, what? So we can get the water heater, but we can't use the water heater until the propane comes. Well, he said I could put the water heater in, and then when the propane comes, you can call me and I could come out and light it and stuff. Then I decided to start calling around. And I called around, and it worked out because I got a better price for the propane, and he was closer. And not only that, when I talked to him, he's local. And, you know, I could understand him because the other place we were ordering from, I think it was going clear like to India or something. I just like to work with somebody I can understand a little better and is close by. And he said, well, it might take, oh, I know, the first place, yeah, we called from. He said, well, we could get it out tomorrow instead of a week, but it'll cost $300 extra, plus the propane. And you're like, and I said, no, we'll just wait. But in the meantime, that's when I start calling around. And I got this other company. I think it's called Blue River, something like that. But got it cheaper, and it turned out he was able to come the next day. We got our propane and the water heater, and he came to, after he installed the water heater, we got the propane. That's when I told him about the fireplace. And then he turned the fireplace off. So now that's another thing. He says we need to get somebody to come out here and look at that fireplace. Because when you turn the fireplace on, after we got the propane, it was like this hesitation, and then it would go woof, and the fire would come on. That's not right. So we haven't got that one fixed because it's getting warmer weather now. And I just put my little electric, remember that little poet, she had that fireplace, and then I ordered it because I seen it. I'm glad I got it because after we got our electric back on, that's what we've been using. Okay. Oh, and I forgot to add, it was a good thing. I had bought an electric blanket for Mr. Bill. It was one of the things I bought him for Valentine's Day. And so while we're waiting, we have no heat, but we had the electric blanket. So I was very thankful that I had bought that. All right, now the next thing. So we were watching the presidential speech. We were listening to Trump. 9:30 at night, and they had a wind advisory out. So we had these really high winds. And lo and behold, everything goes off. TV goes off, all the lights, pitch dark. I mean, there's no even moonlight. I'm like, oh no. So now you know how that goes. You're scrambling around looking for the candles and the lighter and whatever else, flashlights. And you're just always saying, oh, I got to get this all together in case that ever happens again, which I'm going to do that. So but we wanted to hear the rest of the speech, so I got my phone and we listened on there. Well, so many times when the electric goes out, it's just 5-10 minutes. But we go to bed at 9 o'clock anyhow. So after the speech was over, we just took our candles and we went to bed. We put one candle, and he has his own bathroom, and I have mine. So we put the candles in our bathroom, and we had a flashlight to get to the bed. And we thought in the morning we'd wake up and then it would be all right. But the problem is Mr. Bill's on oxygen. We couldn't plug his machine in. So what he did is he used his portable because it still had some charge on it. So the following day we kept listening to the updates about the electric and things. And they told us, we don't know how long it's going to be before this is back on. There was a tree that got blown over, and it blew over onto the wires, electrical wires, and so it put out, I don't know how many thousands of people without electricity. And then when it blew over, it caused a fire. So several homes, they were under maybe evacuation warnings. It was like a long strip of like undergrowth fire. So we didn't know what was going on. We knew there was a fire somewhere, but nobody seemed to know why there was a fire or why the lights were out. But now he's saying, they're warning us that this could be out for quite a while. We don't know when it's going to come back on. So I called Buckeyes. Buckeyes is a place that has all the medical supplies and where he got his oxygen machine and stuff. And I told them, I go, do you have any kind of, tanks or something for oxygen? Because I go, my husband needs the oxygen and we had no electricity. Well, apparently, because we live out here, most of these people are retired. There's probably not just him that's on oxygen. Because this guy that came out, he did come out with the tank of oxygen, but he had been up for hours running out medical supplies for people. I don't know what else it would be, but I know probably oxygen. So that was another thing that happened. So we woke up the next morning thinking and hoping that we have some electricity. That's all my painting stuff back there. I shouldn't let you see that, right? By the way, I did a portrait of my granddaughters. I'm going to be showing that, even the process of it. All right? So we go to bed because there is no electricity. And we go to bed that time anyhow, so that was no big deal. But it was cold. And the electric blanket was not working because it needed electricity, of course. I wonder if they have such thing as a battery-operated electric blanket. I don't know. So we get up in the morning, and now Millie's going to start barking. Get up in the morning, and now we can't. Millie? And now we can't have coffee. That's the worst. Millie, no. Anyways, no coffee. And there's no TV. And there's no toaster. And no stove. And it's all right, I'm recording. I'll get back with you here. Oh yeah, and like the worst part of this is my hair need washed. Oh. So when the man came out and he delivered the oxygen for Bill, he said, so while you're using this oxygen, take your portable machine and plug it into your car. Well, I can charge my phone in the car on accessories, but we couldn't get the portable oxygen machine to charge. Now, I guess maybe it would work. It probably would if we could start the car, but the garage door was closed. And that means and it's a double, it's a big garage door. But, if worse comes to worse, we would have had to do that. Because the electric opened the garage door, of course. We didn't have electric. So the other thing is, I have been obsessed with making sourdough bread here lately. And I had 2 loaves. 2 loaves of bread rising. Get back with you in just a second. Yes, I'm obsessed with making sourdough bread. Sourdough everything. But I had enough dough rising in a big bowl to make 2 loaves of bread. Then the electric all went out. I was planning on baking the bread, but I couldn't do it. So I just had to let it keep rising. So when I got up, it had risen so much it went all over the sides of the bowl. Now, I should have put it in a bigger bowl. That was my fault. But it went all over the sides of the bowl and all around the bowl on the counter. It was a big mess. And the dough was dried up from laying out like that. So I cleaned that all up, threw that part in the garbage, and I took the dough, and I made it into 2 loaves and baked it. So, it was good, but, it could have risen higher, but after that it was perfect. I made 2 more loaves the other day. But I'll put pictures on here because I made sourdough waffles and I made sourdough pancakes. The brooch, the big round one, I made that with sourdough, and the loaves. Twice I've done that. Okay, so I'll tell you a little more. Okay, then Sunday we decided, after going through all that, this was last Sunday, we found out that the local restaurant was having Sunday brunch. They've never done that before. And we thought, well, we'll support them and go there. It'll be someplace different to go besides Cracker Barrel, which I always go to. So I went inside. He was getting his oxygen stuff ready. He says, go inside and get a table. But none of the lights are on at the restaurant. And I thought, this is the right time, they said. But the door was wide open. No lights, no people in there at all. And then as I approached the door, the owner said to me, we're not open. He said, we had a fire. So I guess their dishwasher, the wiring in their dishwasher, had caused a fire in the walls. So they were shut down. But I came home and made breakfast, and it was really good. Okay, there's more. Okay, so when we come home, Mr. Bill was using our stirrer for the coffee, and he dropped it, and he broke it. Then I walked in the kitchen, and I used a cheese slicer, and I dropped it, and I broke the cheese slicer. But now, this was a really sad thing. Then I put my phone on, and I seen a message from my daughter that they had to put their dog down. Her name was Macy. She's a pit bull. But they've had her since she was a little puppy. And she was a very good dog. And she's probably around going on 14, I think, or was 14. But I guess her back legs went out and they had to put her down. But the good news is they just adopted from a shelter. They adopted another dog. What was the dog's name? Lacey? I don't know. But anyways, they got another dog. So I'll put their pictures on there, the one that passed and their new dog. But everything worked out. I mean, because you look back at everything, and I thought about how, I mean, yes, some things had to be purchased again, but we had the money to do it. And don't think, sometimes you go through life and think, does anybody else have all this stuff happen to them? Oh, yeah. It's planet Earth, guys. We're living here on planet Earth. It's a fallen world, but I mean, the only reason I've got all this stuff that's broke and things like that are happening is because I've got stuff, right? I guess we should be thankful. We just wake up in the morning, that you're just awake and you have another day. Even if it's got some problems, you've got another day to live. Just thankful that you can open your eyes and you're able to see, that you can hear, you're able to hear, able to speak, able to breathe, able to walk, be able to talk, live in the country we live in. There's a roof over our head, a bed to lay down in at night, running water, a car, refrigerator, a stove, food in the pantry. Oh my, so much to be thankful for. I just wanted you, I don't know, to let you know everybody has stuff that happens, yeah? All right, I don't know how long this is because I got some things to add on here. And I did do a painting, like I mentioned, of my granddaughter. I'm going to show that and the process of doing it. And I've got some other stuff I might put on there too. So hang in there and watch. I just thought of the new dog's name. The new dog's name is Lexi. I haven't met Lexi yet because Lexi's in Indiana and I'm in Tennessee. I read some quotes that I thought you might like. I do want to do some kind of a Bible study. Might just have to do that on its own because it's going to take too long. But here's one. Listen to this one. If you focus on the hurt, you will continue to suffer. If you focus on the lesson, you will continue to grow. So instead of just keep thinking about how somebody hurt you, just focus on the lesson you learned from it, and you will grow from that. We've had tornado warnings and strong winds here in Tennessee, but nothing happened here other than just having some strong winds and lots of rain and stuff like that. I've got one more. Never be defined by your past. It was just a lesson, not a life sentence. That's really good, isn't it? The things that's happened to you in the past, that doesn't define who you are. It was just a lesson, not a life sentence. Boy, we got to remember that. Okay, that's all for today. And please subscribe, like, comment. Hey, and are any of you out there sourdough freaks like me who like to make it? I guess it got real popular, I found out, in 2020. Must have had something to do with the pandemic. I don't know. But I'm having so much fun with it. But I'm always buying a sourdough, everything, scales and baskets. If you've had experience with it, let me know, okay? So just share with me if you had things going wrong in your life or what's going on. I just like hearing from you, okay? Bye-bye. Love you. Trying to catch the sky this morning. So beautiful. I don't know if this is really gonna capture it. I'm going to make percolator coffee this morning. It's about 5 o'clock in the morning. Yeah, a little after. Coffee pot's got a little stain in it. It's stainless steel. Stainless. Okay, the water. I put cold water in up to the bottom of where those that little holes of the spout. Right about to there. And this is the insides. I just washed out of the percolator. I added 3/4 cup of coffee this morning. I'm using the Maxwell House. The little top part. Goes over. And you just pick it up and put it inside. Put the lid down. And I have it on high. And you see the way it's starting to move? This is not normal. I've always had a gas stove. This is an electric stove. It was here when we moved in. And I've never made coffee on percolated coffee on an electric stove, but it'll start causing this coffee pot to just dance all over the place. But once it starts percolating, meaning the coffee will come up through here, it'll start going bloop, 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 bloop. Once it starts doing that, then it calms down. It quits jiggling around. Okay, here's what I'm talking about. It's rocking and rolling. Alexa, pause. Okay, now it's percolating a good speed. So now I'm going to turn it down. I'll be turning it down. 2. I got it at number 2, low. And this perking will start slowing down a little bit. We just let it. I just let it go for I don't really know how long. Maybe 10 minutes. If it's not strong enough for you, then next time do it a little longer. Or just turn it back on if it's not strong enough for you. Okay, now since I've turned it down, it's perking at a slower speed, and I'm telling you, it smells so good. This kind of reminds me of the times early in the morning my dad would have a little, wasn't stainless steel, his was aluminum at that time, which was not good for you, but that's why I use the aluminum one now. Aluminum, I can't say it, it's too early. Well, I'm going to turn this coffee pot off. And then I don't pour it right away because you'll get grounds in your coffee cup. But if you're in a big hurry, I use a little fine strainer like this and hold it over my coffee cup. But I'm going to let it settle down and let the coffee grounds settle down. I've turned it off. That is a woodpecker you're hearing. That's why I put the fireplace on, hoping he'll go away. If not, I'll have to go there and yell at him or something. Crazy. I don't know what kind of woodpecker it is. I hope it's not that big pillated one. This morning I'm trying sourdough waffles from my discard. Oh, trying to figure all this out. Aha. And I tasted the waffles already, I'm telling you. They're delicious.